So, money no object, what's in your dream garage? How big is your dream car collection? And what do you put in there? Do you go for all hardcore sports cars, or do you have a little bit of everything? If there's one man that can help guide us towards creating the dream garage, it's the man we're going to see. Rodger Dudding has what we think is the largest private car collection in the UK. He's got more than 420 cars, worth somewhere in the region of £50 million. He keeps them all here in darkest Hertfordshire, and he's letting us have a look around.
I started off life as an apprentice engineer in the Royal Navy. Regrettably, I had an accident and damaged my back at sea, and the Navy quite correctly dispensed with my services. I worked for two major companies on a marketing stance for a number of years, and then came up with the idea of a queuing system, basically where you take a ticket, and when your ticket number is displayed, it's your turn to be served. That was quite successful after a number of years, which led to me investing in property, particularly lock-up garages. I've always had a passion for motor cars, and back in 1968, I bought an FF Jensen, which, as most people will know, was a four-wheel drive motor car, but the world's first car to have an anti-lock braking system on it. I had that for a number of years, and it was the first car I owned that I didn't have to part exchange to buy the next one. So I then subsequently had that totally restored, and that really created the nucleus of the car collection I've got today. Back in 1970, regrettably my father died, and he had new, back in '52, a split windscreen Morris Minor. And I don't think that car saw rain 3 times in its life, because he was in the privileged situation, being a senior naval officer, to have a chauffeur-driven Humber Hawk. So if there's a choice to take in either car out, if it's raining, he used the Hawk. If it's dry, he used the Morris Minor. So unfortunately, when father died, I took possession of his Morris Minor, which to me is the most valuable car I have in my collection. And the rest is just a whole variety, a mixed bag of machines that we buy when we see something we like and can afford it. I think for me, the appeal of cars generally is the fundamental design and the engineering in them. Though present day cars, you cannot see much of the engineering because it's all covered up. If you look at the XK 120 or 150, we've got a whole series, you can work on them, and as an engineer you can work on them. With the present day cars, you can't unless you've got diagnostic equipment, which therefore I think loses a certain amount of their appeal for enthusiasts. We've got a number of unusual vehicles here, quirky ones. Our own collection had grown from about 50 motor cars to now over 425 cars I have in my ownership, which I am told, is the largest privately owned classic car collection in Europe. That's not to say for one moment that you haven't got 1,000 spirited away in a couple of barns, which no one knows about, but what is on public record, we have this vast collection. The oldest motor car we have is Hispano Suiza, which we're told is the only one in the world, but all of these things are apocryphal, you just don't know, which is beautiful, and the Hispano Suiza engineering is quite unique. And what we've aimed to do is to, mainly British and European cars, is have a couple of cars from each period. So you've got the evolution of history, how motoring has moved on. You know, we have the Trabant, for example, which again is a piece of history of Eastern European motor cars. They kept the masses moving. And various other I've got my 3-wheel Trojans and other mini and bubble cars, Bond mini car, then right the way through to cars worth several hundreds of thousands of pounds. So there's this extreme, but to my mind they're interesting, and for visitors, and we're not open to public, we're only open to private clubs for security, but to walk around and see such a variety of motor cars. We have here, for example, the Messerschmitt little, call it the bubble car. And Messerschmitt apparently only built half a dozen purpose-built trailers to tow behind the Messerschmitt, called a teardrop. So we have one of those, which is quite unique. Now, to most serious enthusiasts, their eyes will probably glaze over, but to me, it is a segment of motoring history, and one is quite sort of privileged to have these individual gems in this collection. It's not the monetary value, perhaps it's pride of ownership, or joy of ownership, being fortunate enough to have these, and it's nice then for other people to come along and see them and admire them and what have you. On the ground floor, we have the one and only AC ever built, totally approved for road work, etc., etc., etc. Allegedly, the design and build cost was about 5 million, which is not an unreasonable sum of money. And for some reasons best known to AC cars, they never went into production with it. So I heard about this, so I promptly bought it, because it's unique. And why that beautiful, beautiful designed motor car did not go into production is anyone's guess. We aim to get our entire collection out on the road to go round the block, do the metaphoric 5-mile drive to keep all oils moving about once every 3 or 4 months. Doesn't always happen because we'll only take them out in dry weather, and of course winter time you wouldn't take them out because of salt on the roads, etc., etc. I think that expression of Marmite car is very, very accurate. It is one of the few motor cars which have been designed and built which have such a polarized viewpoint. You love it or you hate it, hence Marmite. I was privileged enough to buy one back in, I think it was 81, and I took it home, and my late wife Gloria took one look at it and said, "It's horrible, get rid of it." To my mind it was beautiful. And to my mind, to this day, it's beautiful. And for William Towns, the designer of that motor car, he had a clean sheet of paper and he designed a motor car, not an iteration of previous models, not following on from one shape to another shape of different designers. It was total clear blue thinking, and such a brave move, and a very, very brave move for Aston, who owned the brand Lagonda. From design to the first car rolling was 10 months, albeit they had quite a few electronic gizmos and gremlins to sort out, and it was plagued with the earlier models of certain difficulties in all the touch screen, all the touch buttons, did away with physical switches. But if you buy something like that, you accept you'll fly in a test bed. Anyway, since then I've acquired a number of William Towns Wedge Lagondas, in fact the whole series, and in our collection up until last week we had 23, all fully operational, all functioning, all roadworthy in my collection. And Aston tell me it's the largest private collection in the world. They're probably accurate because you're certifiable if you have one. What happens if you have 23? And anyway, I had the opportunity as recently as last weekend, another Mark IV, the last iteration, was up for sale, so I bought it. The collection we now have, it's spread over 2 locations. They're designated Studio 434-1 and 434-2. It started off with my keeping part of my collection, what is now 434-1, and then we had an increase in demand from friends and clients who wanted us to store their motor cars for them, which we started to do. I carried on buying into my own collection, so we gradually ran out of space. So 3 or 4 years ago, I bought a large building, 5 minutes drive from here, which will accommodate over 500 motor cars. And we're now storing probably 350 or more cars for clients under maximum security, as well as an overspill of our own collection.
Well, that's given me lots of ideas for my dream car collection. All I have to do now is make tens of millions of pounds to make it a reality. What do you think? Tell us what would be in your dream car collection. What would you take from Rodgers, and what do you think he's missing? If you've enjoyed this video, give us a like, comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Autotrader YouTube channel for everything you need to find your next car.